All right, welcome back to the Inspire Speaker Network show. Today we got Jake Ryder, and we're talking about getting on TV shows. Isn't that super fun? As a speaker and just as a human in general, I think we all dream of having our 15 minutes of fame and being on the TV. And I remember, whenever you get on the little news, the morning news for your local, station, you're like, oh my goodness, watch, I was 30 seconds on the news. And it's just so exciting. So today Jake's going to tell us about just his story, his journey through getting on through speaking, for becoming a TV show host, and then also an opportunity that he has for you to get on TV right now. So I'm excited to start this conversation. How are you doing today, Jake?
I'm really well. Thanks, Michelle, for being here. It's just great to be on the show.
Yeah, fantastic. So tell us a little bit more about your
Uh,
background and your
okay,
entrance into the TV space here.
I need to show you something.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Jake. I work for TVNZ, and that was how I started.
Nice.
Okay, that was my very first ever speech. Well, actually, no, it was my first business speech, and at university, I failed the public speaking component. I was
Yeah.
nervous. I couldn't speak. I was afraid to move. I got a job in television, looking after the computer systems. I had 1,500 computers, mainframes, TV broadcasting equipment, satellite dishes, all that sort of stuff. I was meeting celebrities. I was meeting TV hosts. I was meeting journalists. I met musicians. Some of the great rock stars of the time. I met them all. Hi. And I couldn't look them in the eye.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Well, my boss saw a problem with this. So in the mid-90s, he sent me to a public speaking course run by a world Toastmaster champion, a guy called David Nottage. And he got us to do three things. First thing was get up and introduce yourself. And I'm me, I'll do this. And I was a mess. Then he goes, right, the next thing you do is you write some notes. Give yourself some bullet points. Don't script it, bullet points.
Mm-hmm.
So, hi, I'm reading from my bullet points and I can talk a sentence out of these bullet points, but I am still very robotic because I'm still oh, it was painful. Then he goes, that was the second step. The third step was make movements, become an Italiano grandmother. Big movements. So I did. And I jumped from one side of the stage to the other. I moved my arms hugely. I told this story. I raised my voice. I was hooked. From that minute onwards, I went, my voice is my gift. My voice is my power. That's my skill. I went back to work, a different person. I then joined speakers associations. And when you're in a speakers association, most people that go there, they go there and they sit and, what's your signature story? Oh, wow. You drove from here to here, and then you went and did on stage, and then you drove back. Wow, that's your story. Wrong thing to do. Watch what the person is doing. Watch the techniques they're using. The story doesn't matter. It could be any story. But I learned to watch other speakers. And I didn't just watch and hear their story. I would see their movements. I would see their intonation. I would see them raise and lower their voices. I would see them, how they would captivate the audience, how they would work the room. I left the TV industry and moved into the corporate world. to a job where I was doing 3 business speeches a day.
Wow.
Every day. Now, my audience, I could have 2 people, I could have 200, I could have 2,000. I have spoken to top corporations, top 500 corporations, top 100 corporations, banks, governments, police, social security departments. You name the department, I've spoken to them. I got very good at telling a story. I got very good at being able to start at the beginning, have a middle, and then a conclusion. And I also got very good at sales because I learned then how to work the room, how to convert it into sales. And from there, I ended up speaking on stages all around the world, doing financial business opportunities. We sold 300 courses on how to position yourself on YouTube. This is in about 2008. YouTube was very new, and we sold 300 of them. And I was teaching people how to do things on YouTube back then. And YouTube was this wow thing. And the technology back then was very different to what we've got today. I mean, look at us now, sitting in our browser and away we go.
Right.
A couple of clicks and we're there. And we have high-speed internet, none of that dial-up nonsense. We have this amazing opportunity, but it wasn't enough. I left the corporate world, went into internet marketing, and was on stages. It still wasn't enough. The one dream I had was to be in front of the camera. And I'd always been behind the camera. I mean, I've danced. I was a dance teacher as well. I danced on stages in front of thousands of people. I had the mic. Hi, welcome. I wasn't afraid to shake my butt on stage. What ended up happening was I have an alternative side of my world as a psychic medium. And I had embraced those abilities for a long time, but I wanted to prove it more to myself. I had belief, confidence in what I was doing, but I wanted to prove to myself. Now in 2012, I got invited out of thousands of people to represent Australia on a reality TV show in Ukraine called Bit for Extrasensitive, Battle of the Psychics. Now I competed against psychics from the UK, USA, Canada, Azerbaijan, Czech Republic, Poland, Ukraine and Russia, of course. At the end of 6 months of working with all these skeptics, and the crew were skeptics, I was awarded 3rd place by SMS voting. We had an audience of 34 million people watching us every week. Wow. I was in front of the camera now. But I wasn't just in front of the camera, I was a celebrity. Now, there's a difference to being on stages or on YouTube and then being a TV celebrity. When you're a TV celebrity, doors open. You get stalked. I had people stalking me. I had people afraid to come up and say hello to me. Now, at one point, I was offered a TV show in LA, and I was in LA working with the studio to get my TV show up and running. I'm at Whole Foods at the checkout, and who's standing 2 people in front of me? Will I Am. What do I do? I was starstruck. I've had that happen to me. And even now, because I left Ukraine because of the war to come to Poland. And even now, I have Ukrainians who know of my show. They go, "It's you, isn't it?" Yes. I've seen you on show, and it's really funny that the celebrity effect lasts so long. Now, I went on to do another TV show in Ukraine called Psychic Investigations, where we investigated murders, mysteries, all sorts of mystical stories. Now, both my shows were syndicated on the cable networks around the world. They've been seen by over 150 million people worldwide. I have fans. I get messages from Peru, Argentina, from different parts of Asia, Australia and New Zealand, of course, the US, Canada, all through you. I have fans in almost every country in the world who have seen me on the shows. And you just got to. I was sitting back going, how can we get more people? How do we make TV more accessible?
Mm-hmm.
Because my TV show in the US didn't work out. The studio got closed down due to some IRS complications.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
we'll just leave that at that. And I went back to Ukraine to try to work out what do I want to do with my life. And I discovered you could create your show and put it on Amazon Fire and Roku.
Mm-hmm.
And so I created a show called Love Lessons. And it was just me sitting in front of a camera at my desk talking about love. I did 10 episodes, and within the first week, I had over 5,000 subscribers.
Really?
And I'm just going, okay, this is pretty darn cool. When the war hit in 2022, I pulled the show because I took a step back from everything. I'd seen horrible things. I needed some time out, and I took that time out. And so I've now been in Poland here for 3 years. And last year, I was looking, what do I want to do? My stepfather, who'd been in my life for the last 40 years, he passed away in August. And I stopped everything that I was doing and I went, what do I really want to do? I had to stop. And I took time out. I disappeared from social media. I disappeared from my friends. I pushed people away. I took time for me. And there was one question I asked, what am I passionate about? Now, I'm passionate about love. I love talking about love and helping people with relationships. But that wasn't the one thing. What really sparked the fire in me was TV. I went, well, let's do this. Let's go back to TV. Let's create a show. Did I want to do Love Lessons again? Yeah, that'll probably continue. But I wanted something more. And there's one thing that happened when I was living in Ukraine. Every month or every 3 weeks, we would get a group of expats and locals together who spoke English. There'd be 30 or 40 of us in a room, and we'd tell stories. And it was called storytelling. I became one of the regular speakers. Can you tell I like telling stories? Yeah. Everyone would get 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I would get 20 or 30. Put a microphone in front of me and I joke, you can't shut me up. Well, from there, every couple of weeks, we're doing this gig. and I'm having a ball. Now, when I left Ukraine, it was one of the things I missed. I had one other social activity, karaoke. Did you know that as speakers, we have powerful voices? And the techniques that we use on stage as speakers are also used by singers. The breathing techniques, the posture, the projection of the voice, the intonations. I used to sing every 2 weeks in Kiev. Now, just last week, I was off singing karaoke. What a blast. It is such a good thing to do as a speaker. So, over this last few months, what can I do with speaking? What can I do with TV? And the idea for Speakers on Edge came. Let's do storytelling. Let's give people a way to tell stories. And because of my technical expertise, I not only could put people on Amazon Fire and Roku, but now on Amazon Prime as well. Now, there are some technical things that have to be done. Your show has to be of a certain resolution, quality, blah, blah, blah. You have to comply with some things like the American Disabilities Act. You've got to have subtitles. But all those things have been overcome. I'm putting together at the moment this amazing solution. And so far I've had 12 people on the show. We've got 12 episodes that we're editing and putting together. And from today, I expect we'll be submitting the first 2 episodes to Amazon this Friday. We're about 2 weeks late from my original target date. Why? I had a hard drive failure. Didn't lose anything, but yeah, had to overcome some audio issues and also some internet issues. Had some tech hiccups. The things I didn't know.
But this is really exciting because I'm thinking about Amazon, even when you were talking earlier and saying, you were on that competition and then people saw you and you were in front. Our family loves to watch AGT and like The Voice and all those kind of shows. And it's really cool to see. I mean, you can just see what that kind of stage does for people, especially America's Got Talent. You just have an audition and then you're like all of your YouTube channels or, opportunities open up. You don't even have to be at the top 10 people to get exposure. And like you said, it's something that's on their evergreen. And then my kids are obsessed with, you're talking YouTube, my kids are obsessed with Mr. Beast. And and I really admire him just as a creator and what he's done and how much he's been able to build. And I've studied him a little bit in terms of, what was his mindset and how did he do what he did? But then he had that huge game show opportunity come up and everybody was watching. But I think about Amazon Prime and they've got Making the Cut or like all these different things. I go to my mom and she lives states and states over, but she's watching the exact same thing I'm watching. There's so many people that are watching it. And as Americans, especially, we watch a lot of TV and we're bored. And then you're scrolling on there. What else can I find? What else can I find? And just because it's such a huge platform, I've just thought over and over again about like the psychological and undercurrents, some other things about it in general. Like we're all getting brainwashed about the same things, but on the flip side, it's such a big opportunity. Like you're saying, even getting on Roku TV, I would have never imagined. I've seen some other channels on there and I've joined a few random channels, but I was like, how many people actually look at those other channels? But it sounds like
about 100 million. About 100 million for Roku. Amazon is, I mean, the Amazon Prime app on the Android App Store, on the Google Play Store, has had over 500 million downloads. So 500 million downloads.
Right. So if even a tiny fraction of those people are
Just-
searching and seeing your show, is like insane. Yes.
But not only that, whenever I say to people, oh, I'm doing a show for Amazon Prime,
Yeah.
everyone, it is instant credibility. Now, I am not well known in the English speaking marketplace. In the Russian and Ukrainian speaking marketplaces, everybody knows me. I'm a huge celebrity in those areas. But in the English market, Jake Ryder, who's he? Who cares? We don't know who he is. We don't care about him. You know, who's he? But in the market that I was on TV, I'm huge.
And some of that fandom, because it's international, that fandom carries over and you're going to have a boost in your show just because you have that. And then you're going to be able to reach other people because of that.
And more. But it was more so that what I've seen so far from Speakers on Edge. Now, we're not live on Amazon Prime yet. We'll be live hopefully next week once they've approved the show, because they have to approve that the show is of the quality to be on, which is why the editing process and everything, I'm taking it carefully step by step rather than rushing to, oh, you've got to have it all, just throw it out. No, I want the perfect result. What's happening is still to this day, anyone that I talk to, Amazon Prime, instant credibility, but also instant invitations to other things.
Yes.
For other gigs. If I want to do a speaking gig on stage somewhere, I mean, I got a message from somebody this morning who I'd interviewed telling me how wonderful I was and she can't wait to be on a stage with me. She wants us to co-create on a live event. These sorts of, it comes to you when you're on TV. It's attraction marketing at its best.
Yeah.
And yes, I've been on TV, fortunately, but more importantly, the as seen on TV factor gives you so much credibility. You could be the worst storyteller in the world.
Yeah.
But if you've been on television, now, yeah, if you're not a good storyteller, the TV is you're not gonna cut it. The producers will cut your segment. So being able to tell a story matters.
But still,
I love it. Okay, I love it. I mean, you can see, I just love it.
Well, I'm getting more and more excited about this opportunity because it's the birth. I love actually that you mentioned YouTube earlier, that back in 2008, YouTube wasn't that big of a deal. And now it's huge. People are making millions of videos. They have millions and millions of subscribers. And Amazon Prime is already a big deal, but the average person, you and me, isn't really on there yet. And so this is the new frontier. And we have the opportunity, as you're launching this out there, to be the new frontier and to get it when it's hot and to get in there. And it's going to be on Amazon Prime and it's evergreen. And so this is an amazing opportunity, really. And so
Yeah,
I partnered with Jake because I was like, yeah, are you like, should we partner together? And I can share this with my speakers because there is a very small fee to get on the show to cover all of the production and everything, but it is less than I've seen some other summits and things like that. It's a very, very reasonable price. And you get to be on TV. So tell us more, Jake, about this opportunity.
Okay. See, the thing is, it's having, as seen on TV, as seen on Amazon Prime. You put that on your one sheet. You put that on your website. You put that on your business card. I can guarantee the attraction that you will get from somebody seeing you've been on TV. I want to know. Everyone wants to know who's been on TV. If you put on there as seen on YouTube, sorry, but sorry, with all due respect, I mean, I love some of the YouTube creators. I follow Colin Furs. He's a UK plumber who built a underground complex under his house. And he's amazing, crazy man. Highly entertaining. I've been watching him for years. But he's on YouTube. Yeah.
Some of them cross over onto Prime. Some of them do cross over onto Amazon Prime or other shows, but then again, like you said, once they cross over, it's instant credibility. Now everybody knows who they are. Now they're legitimate. Now, oh, okay, this must be really good because now they're over here too. Yeah.
And this is it. With that instant credibility, that's what matters. You know, it's, as speakers, being seen is only part of the journey. Being seen on the right platform is the challenge. Now, I thought about being an international speaker and speaking on different stages all over the world and blah, blah, blah. But back when I was younger, I wasn't confident enough to put myself into that position. And I was living in Australia. And so all the speaking gigs were primarily in the US. So I had a disadvantage. And I ended up in the corporate world doing 3 speeches a day. And then in the dancing world, dancing on stages all around the country. And then in the financial speaking world around Australia. And then I started doing international speaking gigs. It took me a while to get to that point. And it was getting in front of the right people. But finding the right people was hard. Getting the credibility. Can you tell a story? Where's your speaker reel? Where's your evidence?
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? The second that you're on TV, everyone wants to speak to you. Now, once I was in Ukraine, I was being approached by journalists of different countries wanting to talk to me about my experience for their primetime shows. Why? Because here's a guy from Australia gone 30 hours on 3 planes to a strange country to do some wacky weirdo stuff.
Yeah.
And I call it wacky weirdo. I mean, why not? That it made such a difference. I've been in magazines because I've been on TV. I've spoken on stages because I've been on TV. Is the second, the amount of credibility you get from being a person who speaks on TV, it just opens the doors.
Yes.
And that's what I wanted with Speakers on Edge. I wanted it to be a way for speakers to have the doors open for them. Give them the point of difference. I mean, you think about the event booking people. They get I'm an inspirational motivational speaker. 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 I've been on TV. Huh? You're interesting because you stood out.
Yes.
Hang on, you've been on TV. That tells me you're stage ready. That tells me that you're respected in your industry. That tells me that you know how to tell a story and pass a message on. That tells me that if I hire you and pay you to speak on my stage, I've got a higher chance of success. And so that my boss, my backers, whoever's in charge of me, the event booker, I put somebody, and when they find out, oh, I've got this Jake Ryder guy, he's been on TV.
Yes.
Really? Yeah. So what was his audience like? 150 million people worldwide. Okay, I've never heard of him.
I was going to say
audience
too. I was going to say audience too. As an event planner, you're looking at audience and, filling your audience and what kind of audience. So yeah, Jake Ryder, you've been on TV, but you also must have a following. You also must have an audience. And because of your credibility, people that piques their interest in there, they think, oh, I want to come see him too, because, oh, he's been on TV. What TV show is he on? Blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, like you said, it's the authority, it's the credibility, it's the assumption then that, yeah, you're stage ready, you've got it together, you've got a great story, and you have an audience, and you have all the things. You have all the things. Exactly.
And so that's why Speakers on Edge exists today. Because to me, it fills a really important need for the speakers of today. They are so, there's a lot of people out there who want to be speakers. Now, I could have priced this much higher.
Yeah.
I could price it at an elite level.
And you probably will have to once people start coming.
I'm going to have to.
Honestly,
once we start getting more and more people,
yeah,
and we'll be doing more and more episodes, we will. But I'm not just doing the show. I'm also doing a course on from social shorts to TV star. So we're teaching people to be camera ready. We're teaching them how to present on camera. We're teaching them to look in the camera while they're speaking instead of looking at the screen. And how to tell a story between, actually tell a story.
Right.
I mean, you thought today, okay, we've got all our questions, we've got all our interviews, and you haven't had to ask a lot.
Yes.
Because as an interviewer, I've actually pre-prepared. I know what I want to say. I don't have a script. I even don't have notes. Because when you're in television and you're standing in a field and you've got 3 cameras and you're having to create your script on the fly, that was my life. Everything I did was unscripted.
Right.
And we'd be filming for 12, 15, 18 hours a day sometimes. That's a lot of content that you've got to come up with very, very quickly, no matter what the storyline was.
Yes, absolutely. So can you tell us, give us a little more details and tell everyone else how to get in touch with you? How can they be on the show? What's involved there? Yes.
Okay, first of all, as you said, let's get the elephant out of the room. The money it's negligible. It's there to help cover the cost of compliance with the American Disabilities Act because we have to have subtitles. It also covers the editing cost. But in return, you get an hour on TV.
Right, yes.
Okay, but that 1 hour on TV, if we have, okay, I'll say the entire audience of Amazon Prime, because let's just go ridiculous here for a minute. Okay, 500 million people. Well, that's 500 million hours of you if everyone watches it.
Right.
So if 1,000 people watch it, that's 1,000 hours of you on television being covered.
And it's almost like a TEDx. I mean, I'm feeling it like a TEDx a little bit. I mean, it's not quite the same volume, but you know, once you've got that TEDx, like you're saying with the as seen on TV, once you've got the TEDx too, it's just that similar credibility of here's this. It's just that similar credibility of this is what it is. But also people with their TEDx, they have their TEDx talk and then they're like, here's my TEDx talk, and they're sharing it with everybody. So similarly too, hey, here's where I am on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
App, and you can watch me on Amazon Prime. So that's like way better than a speaker reel as well, I think. And I just think this is an amazing opportunity to be able to get out there, like you said, and being someone who also is an event planner and hosts events as well, I can tell you the other reason that that people charge is because so you actually show up. We have a summit. Yeah, we have a summit going on next week. And my co-host is like, yeah, I would give it for free, but nobody shows up. So I have to charge the speakers so that they'll actually show up and be there. I'm trying to give them this opportunity, but they need to put skin in the game. And that's just how we are as humans, that we need to do that. So
and this is it. That's why I've tried to do a fair amount for it that covers the costs. It's not a profit generation factor. That's not the point of the show. The courses, they're for profit.
And you should buy it. Ding. No, just kidding. I want to know, actually. You're freaking my interest. Yeah.
As a speaker, we're in business. Our voice is our opportunity and our voice is our profit center. And so we've got to have a business model. And sometimes you've got to, as you say, you have to pay to invest to get your return. Now, this silly little amount, and I call it a silly little amount because it is.
It really is, yeah.
If that brings you 1 gig that pays you $2,000, you've 10x'd your investment. You've received over 10 times your investment. And that's just 1 gig. Yeah. It will give you more than 1 gig. I can guarantee that. Most event planners will look and go, yes, I want this TV person. Without even looking at your TV show. The fact that you've been on TV will close the deal for you.
Yes.
And we are in the business as speakers to pay the bills. Our voice is the way we pay the bills. We speak to make money.
So without further ado, go get on Jake's show ASAP. Click the link, sign up, do whatever you have to do. Borrow some pennies, do a favor.
But here's what happens. The first thing that happens, you get a form to fill in. It has all the usual things, but it helps us identify what your story is, because we're not a sales platform. We're not a shop. So we're not selling widgets, whatever they are. I've had a few authors come on and wanting to sell their books. And I've said, no, you tell your story and we'll introduce your book as part of the story.
Right.
They then discovered a different way of speaking that was more natural and more comfortable for them. Once you've filled out your form, you book an appointment for recording. You get 90 minutes. You pay, and then I get the appointment booking and I approve it. Here's the problem. If you can't find an appointment time, it's easy. You send me a message. And you go, Jake, I can't find an appointment time. And we will work something out, because I have this part of my calendar booked out because I have life.
No.
And I have other things as well. I have other gigs that I do. Like tonight, after we finish here, I have my usual Tuesday night speaking gig. Otherwise, I'd be on your Inspire Network meeting a bit later.
Yeah.
But I have a speaking gig every Tuesday. We will find a way to get you on TV. And then when you arrive, we make sure that the camera's set up correctly, the audio's okay, the tech is all done. We make sure your lighting is good. And I also make sure that if you're wearing glasses, you don't have those beautiful round dots in your glasses. I want people to see you. I want people to be able to connect. And then you get an hour of telling your story. I can interview you. I can interrupt, but you get an hour. And then we do a bit of an interview afterwards and we finish up. So you'll end up with about 70 or 80 minutes of TV time. That's huge. But it means people can connect to you and hear your story. Because our tagline at Speakers on Edge is your story, your way.
Nice. Really good. So this is the opportunity of a lifetime. I just can't say enough of that. So jump on it right now. And I'm just so excited for honestly everybody who is listening right now to have this opportunity. And I'm so grateful to you for being able to put this together. And also I am looking forward to your course as well, because even as you began speaking and you said, oh, I got on Roku and then boom, I had all these subscribers. I was like, whoa, that sounds like the new frontier, right? That's way better than YouTube, because how many times do you have to put content out on YouTube and it gets nowhere? So anyways, I'm looking forward to your course as well. And thank you so much for coming on the show. Is there anything else that you want to share before we end out today?
When you are living your passion, life is good. Be passionate. Let that passion out. Show us who you are. Let the world see you. I hid for too many years. I was too shy and not confident enough to put myself out there. And then I'd put myself out there in the biggest way possible, doing woo-woo stuff in a foreign country with a foreign language that I didn't speak. And I blew not only the people away and created some incredible family and friends because of it. I discovered someone, me. I discovered the authentic, real me.
Yes, that's beautiful. So truly inspiring. And really we need the authentic you, and we need people to come out of hiding and really speak up, because there's so much change that needs to happen right now, and it's happening. And we need more leaders to rise up and share their story and speak their message and be able to create these movements and the change that we need to see in the world as well. So thank you again for coming, Jake. And
thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah, we're going to see you all on TV as well.
Yes, indeed.